Welcome to this English lesson about music. I just want to welcome all of you. This lesson is going to go over some vocabulary and phrases related to music. I just want to welcome everyone to the live stream. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people in the chat this morning, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to keep up with saying hi to everyone. But I do want to say hi to Rachel and Clive and Lolly and Lulu and Lost in SM was here earlier. And I'm not this week going to be able to say hi to everyone because for some reason my English channel on YouTube got a lot of extra subscribers this week. So I'm seeing a lot more people. Just checking my audio there. So hi to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for coming. I just love it that so many of you are here for this lesson on music. So let's get started. Actually, before we do though, I just want to ask if we could keep the questions in the chat on the topic of music, that would be great. You can talk about anything about music, but sometimes people ask me grammar questions in the chat. Let's save that for tomorrow's live stream. Let's try to do, if you want to say that you love Shawn Mendes, that's totally cool. But if you have a grammar question, let's try to stick to music. I think that would be great. Anyways, Bob the Canadian here. Hit like and subscribe if you're new here, and let's get started and talk about music. So first of all, we would not have music if we didn't have a composer or a songwriter who writes the music. So you'll see this person here. There's a musical score here, and I know this is different in different countries, and there's different ways to do it. But music is, first of all, created by a composer or a songwriter. A composer is someone generally who makes music for movies or for the cinema or for an orchestra. We'll get to that later. And a songwriter, we usually use that term to talk about someone who writes pop songs or songs you would hear on the radio. So there you go. If we didn't have composers and if we didn't have songwriters, we wouldn't have music. I knew Lost in SM would mention Shawn Mendes. Shawn Mendes is a singer-songwriter, so he doesn't just write the songs, he also sings them. A person who plays a musical instrument is a musician. This is a challenging word for English learners to pronounce, musician. I think this part gets you, the musician part. So a musician plays different types of instruments. So this person is playing a guitar. In order to be a musician, of course, you need an instrument. And a little bit later, I'll go over some of the more popular types of instruments that you would see. So someone's giving me a thumbs up. That's great. I saw a question in the chat that said, is this your normal speaking speed? It's a little slower than normal because the live lessons don't have the subtitles at the bottom. I try to speak at a really nice rhythmic rate, nice slow rate. So Lolly says she is not a musician. I am not a musician either. I can't sing very well and I don't play any instruments, but I know a lot about listening to music. I'm pretty good at it. So if you don't play an instrument, you might be a singer. So a singer is obviously the person who uses their vocal cords. You use your vocal cords to sing, but uses their voice to sing a song. Like I said, I'm not a singer. In fact, when I was in grade 6, I tried out for the choir. A choir is a large group of people that sings, and they asked me to run the sound system, you know, the amplifier at the back. I couldn't be in the choir. If you're really good at playing a musical instrument, or if you are really good at singing, we say that you have talent. Okay, or we say that you are talented. So if you know someone who's really, really good at playing guitar, you would say either that they have a lot of talent or that they are very talented, okay? Yeah, my smiley face says Dogan. I try to smile as much as I can. So this is just a guy who's happy playing the guitar, and we're going to assume that he's really, really good at playing the guitar and that he has a lot of musical talent. You can use the word talent for other things as well. Sometimes people have a lot of talent making food. Sometimes people have a lot of talent playing a sport. It just means that you're good at something. But whether you, yeah, Newman says in the chat, America's Got Talent. That's why that show is called that, because they're looking for people with talent. So again, hi to everyone in the chat. If I'm not shouting out your names today, it's because there's already 193 people. It's the biggest live stream I've ever done. So I'm gonna try and stick to the lesson. If I do see a question go by on my screen, I'll try to answer it. So Youssef actually says singing is a good way to improve your English. That's very true, very, very true. Whether you have talent or not, if you want to learn to play an instrument, you need to take lessons. So the same way you take English lessons, you can also take lessons for every kind of instrument. So you can take guitar lessons, you can take piano lessons, etc. And you can even take voice lessons. So you can take lessons to work on your ability to sing. So what's the difference between pitch, intonation, tune, melody, timbre, and rhythm? So I'm not a super expert in music. I teach French and I teach business. So I'm not going to go into detail on those, Stark Tony, sorry. But those are great things to look up if you have questions about that. When you take lessons, you need to practice. Now there's a couple ways to spell this word. Sometimes this is an S. There's a difference between the noun and the verb, but in Canada, we have started to just use it this way. If you are learning British English, you'll want to look up the difference between practice with a C and practice with an S. But if you are learning a musical instrument, you need to practice. That means that each week, you need to schedule a time where you can sit down and practice your instrument. So you might practice piano, you might practice guitar, you might practice singing. And Lolly says, practice makes perfect. That is a great saying because if you want to play an instrument perfectly, you have to practice. Who's the most famous singer in Canada? Well, on this channel, Shawn Mendes is our favorite singer because Lost in SM, who's in the chat right now, likes Shawn Mendes. So, and John Lee says, you're very talented in teaching English. Thanks, John. So when you have a song, there are a number of different parts to the song. We're not going to look at all of them, but the tune that the singer sings is called the melody. And this is one of my favorite English words, melody. It sounds really cool. And often the singer will sing the melody. That is the main tune in the song. And sometimes we'll say, oh, I like this song. It has a catchy melody, or it has a nice melody. So you're talking about the part of the song that the singer sings. Hopefully that makes some sense to you. If someone sings all by their, sometimes Bob the Canadian has trouble speaking English. If someone sings all by themselves, we call it a solo. Usually a solo happens without instruments, but it can also happen with instruments. But if you are singing by yourself, you're singing a solo or you're singing solo. You can say both. You can use the word both ways. If you sing with another person, we call it a duet, okay? So often duets are love songs where a man and a woman will sing a love song, which is a duet, and they'll each sing a different part of the song. So we have also duets, solo, duet. I've put in some idioms in this lesson, sayings that we use that are related to music. So the first one is for a song. So in English, if I just say, I bought a new car, I got it for a song, it means that I hardly paid any money for it. that I paid a very small amount of money for it. So you are getting this English lesson for a song, which means that you're not paying anything for it. Maybe you went to the store and it said, if you buy 10 cans of pop or soda, you get 10 free. You could say, oh, I got this pop for a song. It was half price. So this idiom has nothing to do with music. It means that you got something or bought something very cheaply. So if you get something for a song, it's super cheap. I think it refers to maybe you got something because you sang a song and that was enough to pay the price. Let's look at, I just got to hide some stuff here in the chat. There we go. I'm just going to go through about 3 or 4 instruments. These aren't all of the instruments in the world, but we have this type of guitar is called an acoustic guitar. These are the instruments you would most likely learn if you were a child in Canada. We have electric guitar. So this guitar plugs into an amp. Oftentimes in Canada, children will learn to play piano. In fact, all of my children, I make them take piano lessons. I feel like learning to play an instrument is good for your brain. Even though I don't play an instrument, I still made all of my children take piano lessons. Up until they're age 12, they have to take piano lessons. My wife Jen and I decided that piano was a good instrument to learn. And then you also have drums. So this guy's playing the drums. You can see he looks pretty happy. Drummers are very unique people. I'm not sure if anyone in the chat is a drummer. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're a drummer. But I'm sure some of you play musical instruments. Now, there are far more musical instruments. There are things like the violin. There are things like the cello. And I'm not going to go over all of those in this lesson. I just wanted to look at a few of them. Here's our next idiom related to music. When you say someone is like a broken record, it means they keep saying the same thing over and over again. So if you have small children, or if you've talked to small children, sometimes they ask for candy and then you say no. And then they ask for candy again and you say no. And then they ask for candy again and you say no. And you would say that that child is like a broken record because they keep saying the same thing over and over again. The saying comes from a long time ago. We would have music on what we call a record, and sometimes it would skip and it would play the same part over and over again. So that's where the saying comes from. But what it means is if someone says the same thing over and over again. So a lot of people in the chat, a lot of people saying hi. Just a few shout outs. Hi to, so Suang Wook says, hello, Uncle Bob. I'm known as Uncle Bob in some parts of the world. That's kind of fun. I'm really joining on your online. It's awesome. Yeah, welcome. And welcome to everyone else that's here right now. It's great, guys. Welcome to Asido, Raja, Abinji, Suang Wook, Chang, Farbuk, Changyu, Faisal. Welcome to all of you. Hey, this is every kid's dream in Canada and in the United States and other parts of the world. Well, almost every kid's. They want to play in a band. So when you play electric guitar, or you're a singer, or you're a drummer, if you all get together, you can form a band. So here we have a band. Everyone's playing a different instrument and one person is singing. You could call it a rock band or just a band. So here we have a band. You might, if you play a more traditional instrument, you might play in an orchestra, and you might play different types of music. So you have here, people are sitting in chairs, you have people playing violins. So an orchestra is a larger musical group that plays music usually at a concert hall. And a lot of cities in big cities have symphony orchestras where people play some of the older, more traditional instruments. So when we talk about songs, because obviously music is about songs, We have a couple of different ways to talk about songs. So we can say that you really like a song. I like the brand new song from Shawn Mendes. But you can also use the word track. You can say, have you heard the latest Shawn Mendes track? It's amazing. And then we also refer to music as a piece of music. So often when you play piano, if you're playing for other people, you'll play a piece of music. You'll say, this next piece of music is by Beethoven. So a song, a track, a piece of music, they're all slightly different ways to refer to a song. So we say track a lot right now in English, like, I just got the latest track from Shawn. I keep using Shawn Mendes. I just got the latest track. So, if you go I was going to say in the summer, but oftentimes in Canada there are concerts. In Toronto, there's a lot of concerts in the summer, and it's super fun to go to a concert. Just let me take care of something here for a sec. I think we're gonna just give me 2 seconds here, and there we go, all taken care of. So this is, you can't quite see it, but there is a band playing. There is an audience. Usually you have to buy tickets to go to a concert, but it's super fun, especially in the summer if you can go to a concert. Sometimes we have music festivals. I don't have a sheet for that. But a music festival is like a whole weekend of different bands doing their shows and playing their music. So when you go to a concert, we say that you're going to see live music because the musicians and the singers are performing live, like they're in person, the same way this is a live stream. And often restaurants and bars in Canada will have live music. So you can see the sign says live music Friday and Saturday, 7 to 10 p.m. So that means that wherever this sign is, they have a band that's coming to play that night. So it's really fun if you go out to eat, if you go somewhere where there's a live band, because then instead of just music that's recorded being played, you can actually hear a band playing. So it's very cool to hear a live band. So, live, go see someone live. In the picture I showed you of the concert, there was a stage. You can see down here, there's a stage. This is not the greatest picture for you, but when you go to see a concert, or when you go to a concert, when you go to hear live music, the band will be up on a stage. So, Nader says, live music. I never attend live music at a restaurant. Yeah, live music's super fun. It's super fun to just go and eat and just have a band playing over in the corner. Some countries have a lot of live music in the restaurants and some don't. So Farabek says, I love being at a concert. Concerts are super fun, super fun. Maria says, I enjoy listening to music as I'm learning English. So music is a great way to learn English, by the way. If you don't know, there's a website called lyricstraining.com. I hope I spelt that right. And you can go there and it helps you learn English by listening to music. So here's another idiom. It takes two to tango. So a tango is a type of dance. What this means is if you are complaining about someone because you always fight with them, like you just argue and fight all the time, someone might say, well, you know what they say, it takes two to tango. Because oftentimes when you're fighting with someone, you think it's the other person's fault. You think that you're innocent, but it takes two to tango. You need two people in order to have a fight. So I'm not sure I explained that well. You might want to look up that idiom, it takes two to tango, but it's a good one. Hey, we're gonna look at, this is a tough word for you guys. This is genre. But there are a lot of different kinds of musical genres. Music has a lot of different genres. So a genre is a type of music. You'll see what I mean in a minute. I just have a few of them here. We have country music. So I'm not sure if you're all familiar with country music, but country music singers often wear a cowboy hat and they often play an acoustic guitar, and they write songs about living out on the range and living on the ranch. Country music is one musical genre, okay? So there's country music, and then there's the big one. Let me just check something. You have rock music, or rock and roll, or rock and roll. So there's a couple different ways to spell this. This is one of the most common ways, rock and roll, rock and roll. This is the and sign in English. So we have rock music. You can see this guy here. He's full electric guitar, and he's singing at the top of his lungs. Oh, by the way, that's another saying we say in English. You sing at the top of your lungs. Like, that means you're singing really, really loudly. So, and then Lost in SM says Shawn Mendes is a pop music singer. He's definitely a pop singer. I hope I have pop music in my list, but rock music, or rock and roll, or rock and roll. There you go. This is one of the most popular kinds of music. We have classical music. So classical music would be things like Beethoven, things that are played by an orchestra and usually played on the violin, etc. So we have jazz music. So jazz music is a type of music that's typical of the far southern part of the United States. If you're not sure what jazz is, you should, on YouTube, search up some jazz music and listen to it. It's quite interesting to listen to jazz music, because oftentimes the musicians will just improvise while they're playing. When you improvise, it means you start to play around with the song while you're playing it. Instead of playing all the notes that you're supposed to play, you improvise a bit. So listen to some jazz. We have rap music. So I think you're familiar with rap music. Rap music is when the artist or the singer tends to say the words instead of sing them. So rap music is a type of music. And then I don't know if there's anyone here who knows the band ABBA, but we have pop music, or just pop. So pop music is popular music. Let me put that in the chat for a sec. Pop music comes from the word popular music. So we have pop music because this is the kind of music that's very, very popular in the world. Pop music is usually very catchy. The songs are very catchy. That means it's easy to remember. When you say a song it's a catchy tune, it means that you hear the song once or twice, and then right away you know the words and you can sing along. So pop music, very, very popular. Let's see here. Can I sing Canada's national anthem? I'm not going to sing that in the live stream. I sang once in the live stream. A few weeks ago, I sang the ABC song. It went pretty good, but anyways, I'm not. I will not be singing the Canadian national anthem. And Anna Rita says rap is like Eminem. So Eminem is one of the rap artists, yes. We have another saying here, fit as a fiddle. So a violin can also be called a fiddle. It has two names in English. So a violin or fiddle. And when we say fit as a fiddle, we mean that you're healthy. So if you say, Bob the Canadian is fit as a fiddle, it means that, you know, I'm slim, I'm not overweight, I'm not fat, I exercise a lot. You would say that I was fit as a fiddle. So I hope most of you are fit as a fiddle. It's good to be fit and healthy in this world. Barbian says, hello, Bob. Thank you for this class. Best regards. Thank you very much. Adriano says, incredible. I understand every single word. Awesome. And then Alex says, what's the meaning? But I'm not sure what Alec is asking the question on. The words of a song, so what you would sing, the actual words of the song, we refer to as lyrics or as words. So if you want to know the words to a song and you wanted to search on YouTube, you would search, I would use this word instead, like lyrics for Billy Joel, Uptown Girl. I would search for the lyrics. So the lyrics are the actual words that the original songwriter wrote down. You can use words as well, the words to the song or the lyrics to the song. Either work, but this word lyric, I'll pronounce it one more time, lyric or lyrics, is probably a better word to use. We often, when we hear a song, we say, oh, I need to go on the internet and find the lyrics so that I know how to sing the song. So Chang wants to know if I like Bach or Beethoven. I like them both. I don't listen to a lot of classical music, but I do like both of them. So sometimes a song has a catchy tune, sometimes a song has a catchy melody, but also sometimes you just really like the rhythm. How do you like that English word, rhythm? I cannot spell this word correctly. I always have to look it up. Rhythm, so the beat, so the like boom, 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 whatever the main beat is to the song, we call that the rhythm. So rhythm, if you want to try and say that out loud, and beat is way easier. So a lot of times we'll say, oh, this song has a good beat, or oh, this song is really nice to dance to because it has a good beat. So rhythm and beat are the same thing. This is the more common of the two words. So I like songs that have a good beat. I don't dance a lot though, much at all. When a singer or a band releases a collection of songs, we call it an album. So maybe you listened or you bought the last Taylor Swift album. It's an old word. We don't use it a lot anymore, but it comes from when we had these large records, okay? So you could say, did you buy the last Shawn Mendes album? Or Taylor Swift just dropped a new album. I don't know why they use the word drop, but an album refers to a new collection of songs. So I'm not sure if you bought the last Beyonce album, but maybe you did. So a long time ago, when I was a kid, my dad had a lot of records. So we call these albums or records, and we would play the record on the record player. So this is how we have recorded music. You would buy it on a record. Lost in SM says, I bought the last Shawn Mendes album. I was thinking you did, Lost. I was pretty sure that you would have bought it. After records or albums, notice I use the word album in two different ways. Like I use the word album to refer to this actual vinyl disc, but we also use album just to refer to the collection of songs. Then things started to come out on CD, so we would just say CD or compact disc. So this was, for me, when I was in university, I bought all of my albums on compact disc. So I had a compact disc player, and it was really good. But nowadays, most of you, I think, get a lot of your music on iTunes, or you listen to music off Spotify, or you might even just listen to music from YouTube or Google Play Music. Most of our music now, you just listen to off the internet. Or if you do buy it, you generally buy it as MP3 files. That's a little rare now though, but most of you probably use iTunes or Google Music or Spotify or some other way to listen to music. We're going to finish up with a few idioms here. There's 311 people watching this live lesson. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Subscribe and thumbs up, people. But if I was to say something is music to my ears, so I would say when I hear my children laughing, it's music to my ears. It's when you appreciate any sound, okay? Or even a situation. If someone says, how about I buy you pizza tonight? I would say that's music to my ears. It's just how to say something that you like. So if I was to say, if my boss said, would you like a day off? I would say that's music to my ears. Or if someone, I think I'll go back to the first one. If I hear my kids laughing, it's music to my ears. And then we have this one, march to the beat of your own drum. So a lot of people want to do what everyone else does, but there are people, one sec here. Let me get rid of this from the chat. There, that's gone then.
If you are on Students' Council or if you are a candidate for Students'
there's an
Council,
announcement at my school.
To the lounge and help set up chairs.
We'll wait for it to be done. So yes, I do my live stream from work. I am an actual high school teacher. And that was an announcement for the student government. The student council had to go to a meeting. So here we go. March to the beat of your own drum. So there are people who are very unique and they march to the beat of their own drum. That's how we would describe them. But anyways, folks, that's the lesson. It's usually about 30 minutes. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. There will be a live lesson tomorrow night from the farm. If you want to come and attend that, that would be great. At the live lesson from the farm, I will be answering questions from the chat as fast as possible. But I need to now go to work. I actually have a job that I do every day. Thank you so much for watching. We hit 315 people watching. I apologize again if I did not say hi to you in the chat. It was really nice to see so many people, but it makes the chat go by really quickly. Anyways, I don't think I answered a lot of your questions. You can always leave a comment as a question, and on this video, I will try to answer all the comments. Again, welcome to all the new people who flooded into my channel this week. Don't forget to watch a few more videos at some point. Anyways, I see Sejun is here. Hey, Sejun Song, I will have a great day. Thank you very much. Thanks, Antonio, Anna, Lanja, Verong, Maria, Mary, Sodi. Thanks, all of you guys. Beryl Wilson is here. Awesome. Have a great weekend. I know for some of you it's already Friday night, but this was great. I'm going to push the stop button now, and I'll see some of you tomorrow night, and there will be a new video out Tuesday, like always. Have a good week. Practice your English. Be nice to people.